I would now like to introduce our first speaker to the stage for this evening. Could you please make very welcome the CEO of Domestic Violence Victoria, Ms. Fiona McCormack.
Hi everyone, so great to see you. I'd like to start by acknowledging that this is Wurundjeri land and pay my respects to any Wurundjeri or other elders who are here with us tonight. And in doing so, we acknowledge the loss of lands, cultures and treasures, know the consequences for people, communities and nations, believe that we can work together to build a better future. We meet tonight taking this on. So I'm speaking tonight on behalf of the board and staff and members of the three peak bodies that actually auspice this event. So that's CASA Forum, who represent sexual assault services in Victoria, and No to Violence, the Male Family Violence Prevention Association, and Domestic Violence Victoria, us, who represent specialist family violence services for women and children. And I'd just like to acknowledge, wherever they are, Pauline Gilbert, who actually can't be here with us tonight from CASA Forum. She's off somewhere becoming a grandmother, Tasmania, I believe. Isn't that awesome? So we wish her the best, but I believe Helen Bolton is here on her behalf, so thanks, Helen. And also Danny Blay from No to Violence, just to thank you for your partnership, and it's just been fantastic working with you again this year. So on behalf of all of us, I would like to welcome you all, particularly the Honourable Mary Wooldridge, the Minister for Community Services and Mental Health, or just community and mental health. And Community Services oversees the whole of government approach to violence against women, you were saying earlier. Yep. And Larissa Brent, who we're really excited to have as our guest speaker tonight. Sally Nichols, a partner at Nichols Family Lawyers, who are our sponsors of the EVAs, very, very important to us. Thrilled to have your partnership. And to all the many, many other dignitaries in the room who are here with us tonight, and to all of you who are from the media sector, who are here to support everybody else, welcome. So as Corinne said, this year's been an incredible year for discussions in the media on sexism and gender and misogyny, all the things we usually don't talk about. Tragically, it's also been another incredible year for violence against women in our community. I guess there's no shortage of material for reporting. But what we've also seen is the emergence of more reporting that's actually making the connection between the two. So it's actually connecting the links to sexism and violence against women. And this is so critical. This is exactly what we need in order to change the attitudes that in turn will change behaviours. And this pretty much reflects the feedback that we received from EVAs judges this year. So generally they were saying that they can see a definite improvement on the way in which the reporting of incidents of violence against women is being reflected in the entries. So there's been a shift away from what might be inadvertently or subtle justifications of men's violence or victim blaming, which is so common in our community when you don't necessarily understand the issue. But they're very, very keen to see more entries that actually unpack the causes of violence against women, that actually link incidents of violence to those causes. They're also really keen to see more entries on sexual assault, remembering that all forms of violence against women are caused by the same factors, whether it's violence that takes place in the context of family violence or sexual assault or sexual harassment, and whether it's been perpetrated by an intimate partner or somebody known or a random stranger. And we know, I'm just aware that there are many of you within the media industry who have been personally affected by this issue over this last year. And I just want to pay my respects to the family of Jill Maher and to anybody here who may have known her or worked with her. I know that there was also some hesitation from some of you to report on anything in relation to Jill's case. because of your personal connection with her. And some of you reported for exactly the same reasons, and we respect and understand both. I also want to pay my respects to the other women and children who were murdered this year in the context of violence against women. And for those of you who were affected because of your work with them, and also to honour all the other women and children who are affected by violence, devastated by violence in the last year. So many of us here tonight, too many in fact, have actually been personally affected by this issue in one way or another. And I think one of the reasons for that is because that we're still such a long way off understanding the causes of violence against women, and people are still not necessarily confident on what they can actually do. And there are very simple things that people can do. But we have some really positive things. Here we have this kernel of understanding that we see emerging in some of the entries this year. And we also, it's very apparent that we have a media that is engaged on this issue, that feels strongly about this issue and want to get it right. And the power and the media have such incredible power in creating the kinds of change that makes a real difference to who we are as a community and the quality of our lives. We've also got a community that feels pretty strongly about this issue, who want to actually do something about this issue, but aren't necessarily quite there yet in terms of what they can actually do. These things, I believe, represent exciting possibilities for change on an issue that can cause so much damage. We have a real opportunity here. I believe we can actually change this. So I have a heap of thank yous for, you can't believe how many people, it's kind of overwhelming, the number of people that it takes to put this event on, and to the generosity and the extent of the support that we get beyond the three auspicing agencies. So I want to particularly thank the Victorian Government and Minister Wooldridge for funding the EVAs and for seeing the potential of the EVAs and for championing this work. Yeah. And to our judges, so many of you from so many different sectors who give up your Saturdays and go through so many different entries and take such care in considering the outcome. A special thank you and a mention, of course, to Sally Nichols and Nichols Family Lawyers. Also to all the people who make up the members of the Victorian Sector Advisory Committee on Violence Against Women in the Media. Again, these people are so generous in what they provide and the generosity of their collaboration in terms of getting our messages right and being consistent in the work that this requires. To the fantastic speakers that we have tonight, and to all of those who are helpers. We've actually had family members, we've got people who used to work in different organisations who have come back. And speaking of which, some of you might not know this, but this work actually began in the Grampians. And I just want to acknowledge Vicky Lee Thomas, originally from PACT, and Kate Owen, who was originally from CAFS in the Grampian, who actually began this work, who are here with us tonight. Yay! And of course, the media, for caring about getting the reporting of this issue right, and for your sensational efforts and for your sensational entries. And also, I'd like to thank Vanessa Bourne, the project manager for the EVAs, who just does such a fantastic job in getting us all galvanised and for being so passionate in this work, and who's an absolute joy to work with. So, Vanessa Bourne, if you could come up for your prezi, please. Thank you very much, Fiona. Fiona mentioned in her speech the great work that the media has been doing in the way that we talk about and to women, and that violence against women does work on a continuum.